Hello, darling hearts. It's Gaps Coach Emma here, Timeless Cookery. Nice to see you. I woke up in the middle of the night and I was thinking about the chain that was around my neck, so I took it off. And then I was thinking about all sorts of interesting etymological things about chains and cuffs and collars. And I thought I'd go down and do a live about that. And then I thought, hold on a minute. Let's just get back down to basics, shall we? Let's do a gut health 101, leaky gut, just explain what that is to people, just to come back down to earth. Everybody feeling a bit weird? I'm feeling a bit weird. The veil is thinning, it's that time of year, end of the Celtic wheel of the year, also the beginning of the year. Time to honour the ancestors and take full responsibility for our health. So, did you know you're a tube? You're a tube. From the mouth to the anus is like a tube, you're like a worm, all right? It's that simple. Whatever's on the inside of the tube is actually outside the body. Hi, Lynn. It's actually outside the body. And you're protected from intruders and poisons by one thin layer of cells called epithelial cells. And they're like sentries. They're like standing shoulder to shoulder, and they're protecting you from the outside world for anything you might ingest that might be toxic to you. And let's face it, you know, the toxins abound out there because the food system has... Oh, a woodpecker just flew over, green woodpecker. The food system is just rife with low-level antibiotics in the animal feeds, which then translate to the meat, which then translate to us. Additives, you know, colorings, food colorings, flavorings. Even if they say they're natural flavorings, doesn't mean to say they're natural because they've been so over-processed that our bodies don't recognize them. You know, little micro doses of pesticides and herbicides on the grains and things like that, you know. They just build up in the system, as do plant toxins. So that tube that you are, with the layer of sentries standing, guarding the entrance to your body on the inside of that tube, they get damaged very easily. Usually what they do is stand close together and have a mucosal membrane layer of mucus, and in that mucus membrane, in that mucously layer, lots of other organisms live happily with us in symbiosis. We need them, they need us. We're outnumbered 10 to 1 on a cellular level. With other organisms, you know, and there they all live on the mucosal membrane and in all other tissues of your body and on your skin surface, in your eyes, everywhere, in your brain, everywhere. Not even the baby in utero is sterile, like I got taught at school. There's no such thing as sterile. We're living with these organisms in a whole universe, you know. But the plant toxins specifically can wreak havoc with these tight junctions between the cells of the sentries that are guarding your entry. And the zonulin sticks the cells together, and it gets melted by lectins, which are very high in seeds and the skin of vegetables and the grains. So grains and things like tomatoes and lots of other things can melt the tight junctions between your sentries on your gut lining. And then you've got a little hole, you've got a little entry point. And so it's called permeability on the gut lining. It's not supposed to be permeable. We're supposed to only be absorbing things that the cells decide can come in, like properly broken down sugars, monosaccharides, and properly broken down proteins, you know, amino acids. But what happens is our digestion breaks down a little bit because all the toxins I just spoke about, and of course, you know, all pharmaceuticals cause some kind of damage to the gut lining as well. The pill, for instance, the birth control pill, terrible, really terrible. Even just popping a few painkillers every now and then can damage it. And then you get whole pieces of undigested food that can get through. And when you get whole pieces of undigested food getting into your bloodstream, that's when the inflammation starts. That's when the body goes, hold on a minute, even if it's a piece of biodynamic strawberry or whatever, the body goes, what is that? And starts sending out the ambulances and the fire brigade and the emergency services in the form of cholesterol to fight the inflammation, and in the form of compounds to try and clean up the mess in your bloodstream, and that's when you start to get inflammation. And it can manifest in myriad of ways. Everyone's different, you know. Some people it will be achy joints, some people it will be migraines, some people it will be just fatigue. But the good news is we can heal a leaky gut. Oh, hello, who's that? Somebody lovely sending some nice messages down there. I can't quite read it without squinting into the light there. The good news is we can actually heal and seal that leaky gut by giving our body lots of things like stock, which is full of collagen and gelatin. That's the thing that soothes the gut lining better than anything. And I don't mean bone broth. Bone broth is very different from meat stock. Meat stock is just the whole chicken or the whole leg of lamb or the whole meaty bones, just cooked long enough for the meat to fall off the bones. And then you drink that like tea. Or you can use that to cook everything else you're cooking, you know. Also, we've got to make sure we prepare things like lentils and things like seeds, nuts and seeds, very carefully. We need to make sure we soak them to take out as much of the phytates and the anti-enzymes as possible, and the lectins. You know, we need to cook things very specifically and carefully. There's certain traditional ways of doing things that the food industry just is only worried about the bottom line and shelf stability. So the food industry doesn't prepare the foods properly. So we've got to do it ourselves. So that's what taking responsibility for your health really means, is making sure that you're preparing your food properly. You can learn all about it at Timeless Cookery Club for £33 a month and get all your questions answered and be in a group of like-minded people who can keep you on the straight and narrow, as it were, keep you on the path to vibrant vitality and feeling really, really good. So don't fret about leaky gut, just do something about it. It's not actually that difficult when you start to bring in, right Jack, when you start to bring in the alternatives to the bread or the grains or the granola or whatever it is, you know, that you usually have. You just bring in the substitute, you start to get a taste for it, and in the end your body is just craving it. Your body just craves it. It's a fantastic feeling, and I just wish everybody could feel. I mean, I'm feeling pretty weird today, I've got to say. There's some strange energies. Maybe it's just a kind of celestial alignment or something. It's near to Samhain, it's you know, the veil is thinning and all that. I do feel a bit peculiar. I think there's some storms on the way. But generally speaking, I can weather the storms. You can weather the storms when you are really well nourished, and when your brain is properly hydrated and properly nourished with the fats, the good fats. The world looks like a radically different place. Doesn't seem so scary, doesn't seem so anxiety-provoking, you know. So I hope that's explained a little bit about gut permeability, or leaky gut as it's known, and how it's relatively easy to sort it out. GAPS.me is Dr. Natasha's website if you want to go and check out what GAPS is all about. And if like me you try and do it by the book and you fail, which I did, I missed out so many parts of the protocol, and I failed. I've tried for about 5 years before I actually cracked it. Now I've made it super simple, really easy. I vowed when I was struggling with brain fog and constant meltdowns and having to crash at 4 o'clock every afternoon, and the kids having constant ear infections and snotty noses and tics and Tourette's and a tumour and all sorts of terribleness. I vowed then that I would make it really easy for anybody who wanted to learn how to do this, because when I read that book, GAPS, I literally cried with relief, realising that this was it. This was the core issue that I needed to tackle if I wanted to overcome all of my symptoms, really. So don't suffer in silence, and let people know that you're a tube. Let people know that you're just a big tube, and that you need to keep that gut lining intact with no holes in it, which means not poisoning yourself. It means eating the kinds of foods that soothe the gut lining and that recolonize it with the good guys, with those lovely enzyme-rich foods like cultured dairy, cultured cream, milk kefir, kraut juice and kvass, and you know, and all of these really, really good high-fat animal fats. You know, rich lard, tallow, goose fat, butter. You know, it's a lush way to eat GAPS. You will not feel deprived, I guarantee it. And go and follow me on YouTube. On YouTube, I've got a YouTube channel, Timeless Cookery, and Instagram, where I post lots of little tips and tricks and things. Anyway, hi Tracy, hi Monica, hello loves. All right. I think I've covered everything I wanted to talk about. Yeah. Just steer clear of foods that are heavily processed, because also they're full of preservatives. And if they're full of preservatives, that means bacteria don't want to eat them. And you're supposed to have a healthy microbiome full of a wide, diverse microbiome. Oh, don't cry, Jack. And preservatives kill your biome. So foods with preservatives in them are going to be killing you when you eat them. Let's not eat foods that kill us slowly. Yeah, let's just eat foods that really satisfy and nourish, make us feel good. So see me at timelesscookery.com and try and stay chill around this time of year. It's a perfect time of year to do gaps because it's all full of rich stews and soups and stir fries and really satisfying, nourishing foods. All right, darling hearts. Hope that explained leaky gut for anyone who's unaware. Take care. Big love. Bye.